I don't know what your point is, but okay. Good for you.
My point is that I don't like black people. Is that my point? That's my point. I'm racist. That's my point.
Okay.
Argue me. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Come on.
Well, that's a personal statement. I can't really change your view.
Well, so you must hate black people then, because you don't like. I'm racist. I'm like basically part of the KKK, and you're saying that's okay. So you're complicit. Like, so you know.
Yo! Here we go. Hey, Crusader, do yourself a favour, Crusader, and shut the fuck up.
No, I'm going to shut the fuck up when you shut the fuck up.
Do yourself a favour.
Man, when was the last time you caught a fucking flathead in fucking Harvey Bay or fucking Moreton Bay, mate? I bet you can't even catch a fucking brim. Like,
Crusader.
Crusader, who gives a fuck about fishing, you fucking idiot?
So this is like, okay, Anastasia Palaszczuk, would you have sex with her? I wouldn't. I reckon we need like Tim Mander. Tim Mander's like, you know, he was a referee for the.
Oh, thank you. At least someone here with brains. I don't know if he's trolling or he's being like, it's kind of nasty.
Hey, Mikhail, you still got this idea about gravity being a force?
Guess who's back?
Oh, God.
Shading.
Just when you thought.
What's with this gravity being a force, Mikhail?
I'm actually done. I'm done with talking with people.
Whoever said gravity
is a force, you dipshit.
You can think of it as a force.
Do you concede now then that when you drop two objects in a vacuum that they don't fall at the same rate?
Nah, I have internal hemorrhage right now. I can't really talk. I'm died. I'm dead.
No, that's as a result of when you were learning about the things that you were telling us now. They never gave you enough information about the globe. That's why you're stressed, because you're like, what more can I do than give him
piercing words?
Yeah,
going through his skull.
Because you said, "Oh, I've got mathematical proof," so that's where you stop. You're not able to show practically any more than just some numbers that you've written down and calculated, right? That's a bit of a problem. Because to you, the numbers make sense. It shows that it's a ball, the sun is 93 million miles away, there's a rate of things falling. That's the idea.
If the feather is 200% less dense, how much slower should it fall than the steel?
That's the idea about gravity and flow. But when you try to practically demonstrate it, you're struggling, right?
Guys, you know the coolest fact about gravity?
Like, it doesn't exist?
Yeah, seahorses mate for life.
That's pretty logical. That's a logical conclusion.
Better than most humans, because they divorce. And the other male seahorses give birth, you know.
They're trans.
Kind of beautiful. Bro, how could something be tranny? Oh my.
They live the life of a female, but they have a male body.
You know, a clownfish can literally change genders.
No. Gender is a societal construct.
Ah, facts. There are actually like 7 billion genders.
They can change their sex.
I mean, this is how far you've come in your science.
Fact.
Where you've tried to demonstrate something, you have an idea, but the experiments disagree with your hypothesis. So where do...
Kima. I'm actually done like debating anything right now, but my main point is I consider debating with you a waste of time because we disagree on a range on like fundamental topics, which like I have irrefutable proof, which you just outright deny, and you do not accept the different variables affecting things. So as a result, I am not participating in your debate because I don't see it going anywhere, and I see it as a waste of time.
It's not. This is not really a debate. This is me asking you about your opinion about what the shape of the Earth is, what you think gravity is. So remember, it's not a debate when you're in the stage of hypothesis, right?
Because go back to kindergarten, because that's where the why leads to actually, somebody walking away, and then you can say, "Oh, I won." No, go fuck off.
To have a debate, you would have to have a mock.
You don't have a debate, mate. You do not have a debate.
To have a debate,
all you do is you throw streams of consciousness out there, and then you go to everything that anyone says. So you're not having a debate. You're not even communicating.
To have a debate about something, you would have to obviously have an experiment. You would have to have evidence for us to go back and forth over. So we've looked at your evidence, and we've seen that things do not do what you say they do. You see?
Chemo. All right. On a different topic, all right?
Try to understand it.
Wait, can everyone here do a MBTI personality test? I want to see what your cognitive functions are.
You want to check out Chemo's cognitive?
Yes. To A, B, C, D, E. What the fuck? Yo. Saddam genocided my people. I kid you not.
Well, where's the experiment? Where's the test? What do you have?
Let's experiment to see what your cognitive ability is.
Not cognitive ability, cognitive functions. So personality-wise, not IQ.
I'm just wondering how closely most parents were related.
It's going to be a real simple test.
You failed the first question, Twit. First mistake. But look, the idea is that you, if you were able to make a claim about something, you have a hypothesis, you should be able to back it up with an experiment. That's something that you're failing to do here, Mikhail.
No, Chemo, it's not. Because what you started out saying was gravity is not a force. And, even that is a straw man. Because nobody has really thought that, ever.
Except him.
Knowing what they're talking about. So it's kind of odd.
I suggest everyone just doing this, like, cognitive keys to cognition test. It's very impressive. It just says your personality type. I just want to know people's personality type. Because I think Chemo over here is an ENTP who just starts arguments up for fun.
I'm really interested in your opinion. There's nothing really to argue about. You're giving me your opinion on what you think gravity is. And obviously, if you're saying if you're going from opinion to fact, well, then we'd have to check. If you're going from opinion to fact, we'd have to check the facts, right? Your opinion doesn't really need checking because it could change day to day. It could change in the middle of the day, your opinion. But the facts are the facts, right? So the problem was, Mikhail, we were talking about what you think is the case to you saying, well, my opinion now is now fact.
Sure it is.
And that's part of the problem, Mikhail.
Oh my god.
Can someone kick Crusader, like, genuinely? Before he does something really stupid. Yeah.
Oh, you mean from the server? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, like, genuinely.
I thought you meant physically.
I feel like he's going to do something very irrational very soon. Concerned. But yeah, I'll be leaving the server anyways, because if I get in here, I will spend 3 hours debating absolutely nothing and getting nowhere.
And that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Save yourself, man. Run. Run.
It's Friday.
Wait,
I'm glad to be here.
Can you guys actually take the keys to cognition test? I want to see the different personality types in this server.
Yeah, post a link. I'll take it.
All right, sure. It's just personality, not like IQ
Yeah,
or
this should
anything.
be interesting.
You won't like it.
I won't
No,
like
it's-
it.
It's just different. So MBTI.
Won't like my result. That's what I meant.
Well, your result. It's your result.
Yes. There's that.
ENTP. I am. Could you guess? Do you know the Dr. Broomy? Is that who was talking?
I know that doctor.
He does talk a lot, at least.
Right. Yeah, I can see he's an ENTP. Can he guess my personality? Like, if he's into it?
Romy, no. Well, yes, because he does have a business education of sorts, so maybe, I did, not a degree, but close to a degree in computer program design. A lot of that was management and stuff like that. In that, obviously, personalities. So
Is this your
know
personal site?
Oh no, it's I got recommended from a friend. So, but it's one of the most accurate MBTI tests out there right now. 16 personalities is accurate, but not as accurate enough. So
In the end, it doesn't matter what your test says. Brummy will just end up threatening to rape you.
Well, Myers-Briggs functions is what do you call it? Is like it's not true to the human. Like you can't really put humans into 16 different personality types. Human behavior is not that simple, but it gives a general idea of.
Well, there are two types of people: those who split people into two types, and those who don't.
So Dr. Ruby, is he a flat earther? Or I don't think so.
Sometimes.
What
Can we get back to your religion, Dr. Mikkel? I mean, I'm very interested in this gravity. Unless Brummy wants to come in, and he can also ask you about this idea that you have, that you haven't tested, you haven't experimented with. Tell me more about this gravity that pulls things down to the. What's the mechanism behind that, for example?
I think I made my point clear, but I'll just say this. We currently think it's like a force, or there could be a particle behind it. So, which is hypothesized to be the gravitron.
Right.
Gravitron.
Yeah.
But it's not been proven yet.
Yeah, we know that. That's just an idea. That's what I'm asking you. Tell me about your idea. Then we can get into the facts of the matter. Right?
This is where I stop myself because I know I'm going to get heated.
Yeah, tell me where the sun goes at night on a flat Earth. Go on.
So you can see the globe, and you now want to talk about the flat Earth, how it works.
No, I know the globe. Tell me.
Why would you want to talk about something that's not reality
tell me where
to
the
you?
sun goes at night on a flat Earth.
Is it? Are you conceding? Is this reality
Tell me
to
where
you?
the sun goes at night on a flat Earth.
I told you already. I gave
Tell
you the
me where
answer.
the sun goes at night on a flat Earth.
I gave you the answer. It goes
Tell me
away
where
from
the
you.
sun goes at night on a flat Earth.
It goes over there.
Tell me where the sun goes at night on a flat
Over
Earth.
there.
Why can't I see it?
Because it's over there.
Why can't I see it? I can see what's over there.
Tell him,
You
Chemo.
can't
get
see
the
what's
real
over
answer.
there. It's too
Where
far.
does the sun go at night on a flat Earth?
Over there.
Where does the sun go at night on a flat Earth?
The horizon rises high levels, sir. That's why you can't see the sun at night. Next.
Where does the sun go at night on a flat Earth?
It goes
We've
over
already
there.
answered you, you autistic fuck.
Where does
How many
the sun
times are
go
you
at
going to
night on a
scream the
flat
same
Earth?
fucking
It goes
question?
over there. Where else do you
God
swing
damn,
it?
you're annoying.
Night on a flat Earth. You see how annoying this is, Chemo?
Well, I'm not annoyed. You seem to be annoyed. I'm telling you where it goes. It goes over there. What's the problem? You don't
Look,
like the
either
answer?
become a flat earther or get off the server, Nagger.
I answered you every single time. I gave you an answer. You asked the question again. I gave you another answer. You asked again.
You're doing our side no good, man.
Who's
There
muted
you
him? Why
go.
is he muted?
Asking you for him. Yes, I am asking for information.
Don't mute
That's
him.
how you ask the question around here.
I can see what's over there. So where does the sun go at night on the flat Earth?
I just told you it goes over there.
Well, I can see what's over there, so you're wrong.
You can't. Well, how did you see what's over there? Why didn't you see the sun?
'Cause I'm looking over there, and
Did you have a P1000? No, exactly.
No, I've got a 3950X.
No, get yourself a P1000 and you'll see what's over there.
I don't need a P1000. The 3950X is a lot better.
No. No one's no flat earthers use that. They use the P1000, and when the sun goes away, they just bring everything back with the P1000.
If you go that way, you'll see it.
So everything is over there. Next question about the flat earth. Now you've conceded the globe.
No, I can see over there.
Not without a
Right,
P1000, you can't.
I've got something better than a P1000, and I'm looking over there, and yeah, where does the sun go at night, Chemo?
All right, prove what you've just said.
On the flat Earth.
Prove what you've just said, that you've got this camera, and that when you looked over there, the sun wasn't there. How can we move forward unless you show it?
Better than a P1000.
That's okay. I'm not I'm not hand wave dismissing. I agree with you. You've got something better that you can show that when you look over there, the sun is not there. So let's have a look.
Well,
Let me see that the sun wasn't there where you said it was.
I'm looking over there, but where does the sun go at night on the flat Earth?
I've just told you over there. You need a P1000.
Where does the sun go at night on the flat Earth?
It goes towards the west.
And if I've got a P1000, I can bring the sun back at night, can I?
Yeah, if you've got a P1000, you can bring it back.
That's a definitive statement, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've done this experiment, have you?
Brought the sun back? Yeah, the sun.
Have you made a video of it? Can you show me that?
What, of the sun? Yeah, absolutely.
No, bringing it back with a P1000 at night.
No, I haven't done that. No.
Well, maybe you should do that experiment, because, like, I think before you make a definitive statement like that, you should do the experiment. And what would be the independent variable in that experiment?
There would be none, because it's not an observed phenomenon.
Independent variable would be degree of zoom, wouldn't it?
So you can't bring the sun back at night on the flat Earth, can you?
Well, if Earth is flat and you can zoom infinitely, then the variable would be the zoom, right?
Oh yeah, Chemo claimed you could bring the sun back at night with a P1000. Yep, that's his contention.
Okay, so what's the next point? What else would you like to know about the flat Earth?
Seeing the sun at night is not found in nature. It's not natural. Like a P1000, not natural.
So look, we can. This wasn't with a P1000.
No, actually, a P1000 is natural.
This wasn't a P1000, but they didn't need to bring the sun back because they just
supernatural about a P1000.
They just tracked the sun, followed the sun, and the sun went around the flat plane and then it came back. So that's where the sun goes at night, if you want to know. It just goes over there, like I told you.
Yeah, I'm looking over there.
Yeah, we have to look from an aeroplane.
It doesn't do me much good. I've discovered that looking over there doesn't do me much good with regard to this question. Where does the sun go at night?
I've just sent you a link. I've sent you a video.
I need some specificity.
Yeah, this is from New York to Moscow. Okay, and this is tracking the sun. Okay, over the flat plane. Okay, so that's where the sun goes at night. Okay, and you don't have anything to compare and show us on a globe, on your imaginary globe, where the sun goes at night. Right?
You mean aside from that video that?
So just remember who you're talking to, where the
showed
flat
me.
Everyone
earthers.
knows he's trolling.
Aside from that video,
Don't get
because
worked up.
that video.
Right, so I've answered your
would make any
question.
difference in the flat Earth,
What do you
because I'd
have?
always see the sun on the flat Earth.
Yeah, you've got the sun getting smaller and you've got the sun getting smaller and smaller and
Light
smaller.
have magical properties that it all of a sudden stops somewhere.
No. It just goes around the flat plane. It stays
on the
level.
flat Earth, it travels different.
Stays parallel with the Earth. All right. So go and have a look at that video if you want to know where the sun goes at night.
Where does the sun go at night?
It went to Australia, and then it came back.
Or why can I always see the sun in summer at the North Pole?
We can see.
But I can't always see the sun in summer in the UK.
No. From Europe, we can see Australia's daytime.
How do I see the sun all the time on the South Pole, but I can't see the sun all the time in Australia?
You can. If you go to 1 minute, 5 seconds, we can see Australia's daytime from Europe. When Australia's having their morning, if you go high enough, you can see their morning time. The sun light up their country.
But why should I go high enough? Because
you move from Europe.
See the
You
sun
sure about that?
Yeah. If you're in an aeroplane, you can see when Australia has their daytime, their morning. When they have their light, we can see the sun.
If I go to the North Pole in winter, I can see the sun 24 hours. Why can't I do that on Earth?
You can. If you get on a plane from New America to Europe, you'll be able to see the sun all the way around and light up Australia and then light up Europe.
If I'm in America or Europe, I'm going to have a day and night cycle, right? So where does the sun go on the flat Earth?
Well, it depends where you are. If you're in, say,
in my chair and look out, and I'm going to follow the sun.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the sun will disappear within a very short space of time. It'll go from lightness to darkness. Where does that sun go on the flat Earth?
So it goes to Australia.
But why can't I see it on the flat Earth if we're living on the flat Earth?
You can see it.
There should be no point where I never see the sun if it's a flat Earth.
You can always see it. I've just sent you a link.
You can always see the sun from where you're sitting right now. You can always see the sun, can you?
No, not where I'm sitting.
You get the P1000 out, and then you can bring the sun back again, can you?
No. The weather. It's usually raining. Cloudy. You know what a cloud is?
It's always raining because I live in the UK as well.
Yeah. It's always rainy. It's always cloudy.
Really clear days here in the UK.
It's always cloudy and rainy.
And yet, independent of whether it's raining or it's not, I get the light to dark. It doesn't get light and then still light.
Well, why would it?
Well, on the flat Earth, there would be no time when I wouldn't be able to see the sun.
Oh, there would, yeah.
On a globe, it makes perfect sense why I wouldn't be able to see the sun. But on a flat Earth, not so much.
Yeah, on a globe, you can get mathematics to make it work, but in reality, it doesn't work.
It's nice to know that the P1000 has got the magical property of being able to bring the sun back at night.
Look, do you have any evidence to back up your religious claim?
I'm sure that Nikon will be using that in their advertising real soon now.
Do you have anything other than your religious preaching to back up your claim?
Kimo, I'm just asking. Inquiring minds want to know.
About the flat Earth? Well, you should do, because the Earth's not a globe.
On the flat Earth. That's inquiring minds want to know.
I know.
So far, I've learned that the P1000 will bring the sun back at night. Well, if I look at the picture I took of the sun, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. You can bring anything back with the P1000. It's a very good camera. You know, we can see France from England at 3.5 feet.
No, chemo. And apparently nor does anyone else, as that was Britain. As far as I heard. Any news on what direction that was actually taken?
No.
Well, there was some complaints that it was taken, southwards. I'm not sure, but, look into it.
Could be, maybe. But right now, Michael here.
Right now, it's just a picture taken in a random direction, so it does not show us France from Britain now, does it?
Michael asked where the sun goes at night, and I said over there, and then now he's stuck.
Well, clearly seeing as it goes, over there, and it's gone, and it comes back somewhere else. It must be somewhere else all that time as it's gone, right?
I just posted a video to show you where the sun goes at night. You want to have a look?
I like that one from our JM Truth PhD guy. It's pretty.
It's not easy being a glober, right? I mean, who wants it? I wouldn't want that lifestyle of having to prove something that doesn't exist.
There is no lifestyle.
You've got the globe earther lifestyle, so you've chosen to prove something that is not possible.
What is the globe earther lifestyle? Tell me.
So you believe in imaginary things. You have trust in people that have no interest in you.
No, I'm not trusting you, so I'm proving you wrong on that one.
No, you have interest in people that have no interest in you. So the people who educated you, the people that educated you have no interest in your well-being, your welfare at all.
That's the wrong way around.
In fact, the sooner you expired to the elite, the better. Like if you're a strain on society...
That's actually the wrong way around.
No, that's exactly what they want. If you're weak, if you're old, if you're not adding to society, they want to eliminate you.
Actually, the wrong way around.
So,
if you're useless, then you won't be used. I'll give you that. But I'm not useless.
So right now, everything that you've been taught, it has been miseducation. So you don't have any education. You don't know anything about. Oh, maybe on other things in the practical world, but when it comes to, the heliocentric model where you live, it's not like.
I don't live in England. I don't live in the heliocentric model. I live in England.
Yes, and what you're saying here, is essentially projection, because it's your side that is, counter technology.
Yeah,
and the fact that
you're looking in the mirror and then you project that.
Every technology we ever made helped us do things. And all those things, you combine all those things, the core of them is pretty much making us live longer, safer. So, in essence, we are creating all those old people and, the weak and all that. In the good old days, they would just die because they would have no food, right? So we make them. And your side is, counter technology. You don't want their vaccines, you don't want their technology, you don't want their heart surgery, you don't want their blood transfusions, all these things. It's bad for you, isn't it? All these bad things is what makes all these old people live,
Come on, so let's get back to the science.
It's really your side that wants to
science,
live, isn't it?
Science. What we want is proof that the ball is actually
no such thing as proof, Mo. You know that. Stop being ignorant.
Oh.
Until you can show where the sun goes at night on a flat Earth, you've got nothing.
I've just posted a link for you.
Yeah, you got nothing.
Look, there you go.
You've got nothing.
You're embarrassing Dal, right? If you spoke to Dal beyond an imaginary curve, he would set you straight.
You have nothing.
He would demand that you provide a practical demonstration of water curving around the exterior of an object.
Nothing. You have nothing. I'm just using your own form of argumentation against you. You don't like it.
What we're asking for is an
Talk
experiment.
shit. Where does the sun go at night on a flat Earth?
I posted you a video of where it goes. Depends where you are.
Come to terms with the clouds. Yeah.
That aircraft is
Still
moving.
at war with the cloud schema.
Clouds.
Has he come to grips with that? The clouds and their purpose, or
you know that there are days when the sky is absolutely clear.
Well, have you not had enough time to talk yet, Nagger?
Or how about Arizona? No
Why don't you
clouds
learn to
there.
shut the fuck up once in a while?
Hey, Nagger, why are you talking over someone?
Because he's a rude fuck, unlike me.
They don't like you, Nagger. I don't know why.
But anyway. Yeah,
well,
dude,
Arizona, then there's no fucking cloud in the sky.
Oh, for fuck's sake, mate!
It's just you going back over and over and over the same fucking thing.
Yeah,
Where is this?
I know. It's annoying, isn't it?
You just got to.
It really is annoying.
It's not annoying.
It really is so annoying, isn't it?
Anyway, Chemo, has Dell come to terms with the clouds yet? It was a simple question.
You'll have to ask Dow when he comes one day, hopefully in the future.
Well, I thought you kept up with him.
No, I saw that. I said you'll have to ask him his opinion if he's changed it.
Hey, be honest though, you got a kick out of watching his video when he's like yelling at the clouds and shit, right? You thought that was pretty amusing, didn't you?
Yeah, it's somewhat humorous, yeah.
Videos.
What did he do?
Thank God I'm not crazy like that fucker.
That is the best flat Earth group made ever, you know. This is closest to evidence you'll ever get.
Dell was outraging at the weather in Scotland and yelling about clouds and why are they there? They have no purpose. And he was just cursing up a storm about the weather in Scotland. That part about the clouds, do they have there that really it got to me. It was funny. And he wanted to beat up his ancestors for living there. It's their fault that he's there in the midst of all this cloudiness and bad weather in Scotland.
I really don't know what to say to that.
The finest piece of flat Earth evidence ever produced. All shouting at clouds. I do believe, by the way, he was angry
I guess he is in Scotland.
By the way, he was angry at chemtrails, but still.
But he was mad about the sun, too. Something about how weak the sun is, how puny and weak it is, and how there could be a temperature difference between, like, London and Scotland. Or
Yes,
that's a good meme about that one, I think.
He was generally angry, but that was.
Can we get back to Michael?
Chemo, quit.
He looked like answering you the morning.
Michael thinks the Earth.
You may well have broken Michael, Chemo.
Well, you guys have shouted at him for no reason. He's on your side.
No reason. He's not on my side. I want him representing me.
Yeah, but you're on the same team. You believe the same thing.
No. Just because you play the same game doesn't mean you're on the same team.
Well, like I said, he's arguing your points. Well, not quite arguing your points, but he's on the same side.
I'm an inquiring mind, Chemo. I want to be enlightened by your infinite wisdom.
But you've got to give up the globe first before you can accept the truth, right?
No, I don't need to accept something that I already know.
Well, that's what I wanted to know. If you know it's a globe, let's look at that.
And on a globe, a sunset is perfectly explained on a globe model. On a flat Earth model, not so much.
Again, I agree with you. On a ball, it's perfectly explained.
A globe.
On a globe, it's explained. So what?
Yeah. So where is it explained on the flat Earth model?
Well, I've just shown you a video. I've just sent you a link.
No, you haven't. You've shown me a video, but you haven't shown me anything that would be considered evidence. Because if I'm sitting in Arizona in my seat, cloudless sky, where does the sun go at night?
Did you look at it from above?
That's not an Arizona accent.
Did you look at it from above the clouds? No, you didn't. So if you want to do true observations, you're going to have to eliminate variables like the atmosphere.
Yeah, you would need to eliminate the variable of the aircraft actually moving. So we'll eliminate that variable. I'm sitting in a chair in Arizona. I'm watching the sun all day, and then all of a sudden it disappears. Cloudless sky, where does the sun go at night in Arizona on a flat Earth model? That's the question I'm asking you. And P1000 won't bring that sun back to me.
Well, which direction did it go?
Over there.
Exactly. So what's the problem?
It kind of like went down, kind of like a bit westish.
No, it didn't do that. How can we check you're not delusional, seeing things?
Well, because I can sit there the next day and it will go down again.
I know, but how do we verify
And
you're
the
not
day after
delusional?
that, and the day after that, and the day after that.
It won't be verified.
Michael, it's fucking clockwork.
But
The
again,
sun
I'm
will
just
come up
asking,
and the
how do
sun
we
will
check
go
that
down.
you're not seeing fairies at night?
But the
You
sun
know,
will
Spurs.
come up in a different position than where it went down. So where was the sun going in the meantime on a flat Earth?
Well, we pull out our sailor's almanac, and it's going to tell us where the sun is going to set at any time during the year. You know, that means at least there's a mass delusion that it sets right about there. And it's oddly going to do pretty much that at all times. For everyone.
Yeah, on the globe Earth, yeah.
You
Yes.
don't need an almanac to know that it went too far.
No, but you know, it's still going to be a document that tells us where it's going to set, right, Curve? And by the fact that it's a printed document that is used in navigation, it is likely to be the same for everyone, right?
Documents
And
are
the- and
natural.
the document is predictive.
You show me a natural document and then we'll talk.
Every document is natural because it's not supernatural.
Yes.
Well, what do you think it goes into the earth?
Who would
Well-
ever claim it goes into the earth, Kimo?
So what
On
does
a
he think?
flat
When he says
Earth,
it goes
it's got
down,
to.
what does he?
On
What
a
does that
flat
mean?
Earth,
What does
it's
that
got
even
to.
mean exactly? You think it goes down into the earth? What, into the water? What happens?
No.
So what then?
On a flat Earth, why is it I don't see the sun 24 hours? No matter where I am on Earth, except if I'm at the North Pole or the South Pole. North Pole in winter, South Pole in summer. Then I see the sun 24 hours.
Yeah, but you can't see
day.
the sun because it gets too small.
Not at the South Pole in winter.
Yeah, if
Sorry,
the
in
sun
summer.
moves away
And
from
not
you, it gets
North
too
Pole in
small, it
winter.
gets smaller and smaller, you can't see it anymore.
No,
Why
but,
do you think you can see it?
At the North Pole, the sun stays. I can see the sun in summer 24 hours a day. The sun never changes size.
No, I've got it on the big screen right now. The video I sent you, the sun gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
No, Kimo, it doesn't. 0.7 angular duration.
I'll post the link again
Angular
so you can watch the
size.
sun. You can watch it
5.7
get smaller
angular
and
size
smaller and
all the
smaller
time.
as it gets away from you. Why do you think you could see an object that gets smaller and smaller as it moves away?
Optical illusion, Kimo. Solar filter, 5.7 degrees all time.
This video here has a lot of information in it concerning the
Kimo.
position, the
There's a lot
height,
of obfuscation in it.
the
That's
speed.
it.
So, Michael Naga, what evidence do you have that the sun stays the same size? What are you talking about?
You put a sun filter on it, and you follow this, track the sun. Put the sun filter on your telescope, on your camera, whatever you want. Rhetoric has done the experiment. Sun
Yeah.
stays the same size And you're well aware of this, Chemo, because
Yeah, I
you've
spoke
had
to
your
Red.
nose rubbed in it.
But
So,
Red's
like,
not aware of this
don't,
video
don't
here.
even try to pretend that you don't know.
No, of course, yeah. You guys are taking measurements from the ground, where a lot of atmosphere is going to be in the way. So of course you'll get strange results. But if you go above the clouds, like this plane, things will happen normally.
Even when you go above the clouds, there's still atmosphere.
Ah, but it's less. There's less. It's
no
because you know above the clouds.
Fucking fly, would it?
No, but there's less. There's less water up there, less magnification.
Well, you mean when we go above the main part of the gradient, the atmosphere? Is that what you're saying? To that little exponential bit where it's just slowly passing out to nothing? Is that what you're saying, Kimo?
All right, if Nagger's so smart, maybe he can explain the Jesus birds.
No idea what they are.
You don't know the Jesus birds.
Mm-mm.
You claim to be a Glover.
I have no idea what they are.
These are the birds that are seen walking on water at the state park in Kansas.
I've honestly never heard of them. So, like,
You need to do some research, sir. You're obviously woefully uneducated on these matters.
I mean, you don't know about the endocrinic properties of resublimated theotamine
They're
either, but I'm not going to call you ignorant.
They're Jesus birds. They walk on water, man.
Yes, I've never heard of them. And I'm sure there's an explanation.
That's man-made instrument, Rakia. You're not doing science there.
I never claimed to be. And I'm also not.
Is your name Rakia? Is your name Rakia?
Is my name what? No, I didn't.
No, Sky Dog. This is very different.
Is my name what?
Lewis has documented the Jesus birds. He was out at the park scouting out the dam. He was thinking about doing a jet ski jump off of the dam onto the lower portion of the lake or river there, and he was filming, and we saw the Jesus birds out on the water. They're all out there walking around on the water. It's very simple. This is silly to even argue about this.
Oh, Jesus being from the Middle East, walking on water would seem impressive, I guess. But around here we have
you mean birds walking on lily pads?
Ice skates and stuff. They work all the time, at least in the winter.
You mean birds walking on lily pads is?
They're not lily pads. It's a weak attempt at a debunk.
No, I've looked up lily pads and I'm seeing Little Australia Jesus bird is what comes up.
Just watch the video. It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in Jesus birds. The video should come up, unless they fucked with the algorithm to try to hide this.
Yeah, so what happened to Michael? Michael, you're asking about the flat Earth. Is that you conceding
where
that?
does the sun go on the flat Earth at night? That's what I'm asking.
Talking.
Who was talking?
Chemo was talking.
Oh, you mean the African giraffe?
Okay. But I posted you a video. I mean, it depends on your location where the sun goes at night for you. And obviously you understand perspective, things get smaller and smaller. Now, you're saying that none of these things happen, but you're not actually supporting your claim. You're just spouting like, oh, this, that, and the other. Can you show me something so we can move forward?
Can I show you something? What, where, when?
Yeah, so you're saying, where does the sun go at night? I provided you a video of that.
On a flat earth. On a flat earth.
Yeah, this is on a flat earth. And you're saying it's not on a flat earth. You're saying...
No, you're showing me from an aircraft.
Yeah.
Which... Sorry, I'm talking about sitting there in a chair in Arizona.
Yeah.
No cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
Where does the sun go on a flat earth?
Goes out of your perspective,
We're
right?
bringing in other variables like movement or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm flying towards the west in a jet aircraft, then I will continue to see the sun for a lot longer than sitting on my ass in Arizona.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a given. That is a given.
Well, how far can you see?
Can't see beyond the sun.
I'm asking how far can you see?
Then I can see a lot further.
How far can you see?
I mean, if I'm looking into the past, then I can see many, many parsecs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a parsec is, don't you?
Sure. But in distance-wise, when we're looking out, what's the furthest you can see visually?
As far as the resolution of my eyes and the light source.
How far is that? Have you tested
it? Depends on the light source.
So how far is that then?
At night when the stars are out.
Mm-hmm.
Many, many light years.
Many, many light years.
Yeah.
How did you measure many, many light years?
That's that's the starlight hitting on the photons, impinging on my eyeballs.
I know.
Coming to an abrupt stop.
I understand all that. I'm asking, how did you measure many, many light years?
That's okay.
You said millions of light years. How did you measure millions of light years?
Many light years.
What? A light year? How did you measure a light year?
It's the amount of distance that the light travels in a year.
I didn't ask that what it was. I asked you, how did you measure the light year, the light years, the stars, the distance?
It's actually in the word light year. It's how much time, it's how much distance light travels in a year.
I didn't ask that though. I asked you, how did you measure the distance to the stars?
No, I don't need to measure it. It's defined by the actual two words, light year, or light year if you can write it together and be one word. You know, it's the amount of distance light travels in 1 year. But where does the sun go at night on a flat earth?
Let's have a little clarification here. Is Kimo asking what the unit of light year is, or is he asking how we know how many it is?
He's obfuscating where the sun
goes. He asked a very simple question.
But I want to know
how did you measure it?
I think Spurs' question was answered adequately.
Can you use a laser ray?
He gave a definition of what a light year is. He didn't answer the question, which was, how do you measure a light year? Not
that is an adequate answer.
What do you use? Oh, okay, so that's your answer.
Why not
we all
use a
hear
laser ray?
We all hear the answer. I'm sorry, Curve. Go ahead.
What about that, Rakia? What's wrong with the laser ray?
Rakia, you have to also realise it was Spurs asking the question, so the answer was adequate by Spurs standard.
You're assuming that Spurs is already ignorant in your mind. That's your ignorance, not his.
No.
Yes.
You're assuming that's what I'm assuming.
No.
That's in evidence.
You are
by you saying
you've just assumed
you
it.
have to know that Spurs asked the question. That is telling me that you assume that his question is ignorant and malformed in the first place.
No,
So
that's not what I'm assuming
your
at all.
ignorance, not his. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
That's not what I'm assuming at all.
I must be ignorant too because I understood the question.
You must be.
You
yeah,
are.
I must be. See, yeah.
It was.
Did you want to ask me something, Curved, about the laser level?
You are.
Yeah, I know you assume that. Go ahead. Did you want to ask me something about the laser?
No, I didn't ask you about laser level, you dimwit. I said laser rangefinder.
Oh, laser rangefinder.
Measure a light year. It'll take a while, but you can use a laser rangefinder.
Oh yeah, you can use those for You can't shoot a star though, can you? I don't know.
Show me you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. If you think you can, I don't know. I don't have one that does that.
Do you have a stellar laser rangefinder, sir? Do you own one?
I already said I didn't. I can't. Didn't I just? Are you ignorant?
Why?
Are you listening? Is my mic working?
Is.
Hello.
You're
is
out
my mic working?
At sea. You don't even know where north is. Can we talk to somebody that's got some sense? Chemo. Get a decent flat earth.
I was lost at sea. I've never been lost at sea. And yeah, I know where north is. But while I was sitting in my boat,
a little worked up today, Rick.
No, I was.
Yeah, he's triggered.
No, I don't get triggered. I think y'all mistake my high voice because I have earphones on and I'm partially deaf, so I might be yelling, but I'm not meaning to. Yeah.
You're deaf.
I just can't hear my own volume of my voice. I have noise canceling.
Do you have to squint to listen to us?
Do I have to what?
Yep, he's deaf.
Oh, you're insulting me. Insulting a deaf man.
It's not your volume, mate.
Oh, what is it then? Because no, I'm full of joy. I just talked. Matter of fact, the guy that just set up that laser level, which we use over short distance, he's from Honduras, and guess what? Las tierras planas. That's what he says. Can you establish a horizontal using this tool over any distance? Yes, I can. If you do it over water and measure that drop from horizontal, would it be the same distance from A to B over any distance? Yes, it would. Does the Earth curve? No, it does not. Las tierras planas. Oh, and for those who don't know Spanish, that means the Earth is flat.
Yeah, it still doesn't make any more sense in a different.
So anyway,
right. Just another random flat earther. Yeah, just another man I met this morning using a laser level that thinks the Earth is flat.
Is Professor Adams coming, Chemo? Oh, that's not his wife?
No. I mean, the phone is engaged.
I'm sure he'll be able to tell me where the sun goes at night on a flat Earth.
It goes away just like all lights do in the sky as they go away from you. It just loses light. Yeah. It appears to be a light in the sky, and as it goes away, the light is going to go away. It's pretty simple.
So what's the new flat Earth evidence? Like, what's new on the horizon, so to speak?
We don't need anything new. There's no drop from horizontal, which means it's a plane.
How do you know that?
Not a sphere, because we.
How do you know there's no drop?
Because we've measured it.
You've measured it?
Yep.
How can you measure nothing?
Measure nothing? What are you talking about? You can measure drop from horizontal, hon. Have you ever done it?
No, I won't do it.
We can. We do every day. Drop from horizontal. We establish a horizontal line as long as we need to, and we can measure the drop down from that, and there's no drop. There's on a shape, so you would get drop from horizontal.
Right, you would get a curve. That's like a curve.
Right.
Gradual curve. Over
apparently, 8 inches per mile square is what the current radius, with the current given radius that we're given, that no one's ever measured. We're just given that fact.
So you expect to see 8 miles of drop somewhere? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
or
if the
8 miles of drop.
If the Earth was a sphere, it would be dropping in all directions from any point.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And it doesn't.
But it does.
Oh, but it doesn't. It drops in elevation, right?
No.
A slope. Oh, yeah. Yep. That's how rivers flow.
Yeah, that's how actually globes work. They drop in elevations to all sides.
You can't argue with this kind of stupid.
You can't argue with no drop from horizontal.
Listen,
I promise you that. That's geometry.
Most of his time on the water, right? So he's on the water, and I'm just wondering why he thinks he can see about 8 inches or whatever it might be.
See, I didn't say anything about seeing it. I said measure.
But how can you measure? Okay, so you've positioned yourself on one point on this water, and then went 8 inches. Per mile squared. So you want how many square miles away, and then measured to see if you had any drop between you and that point.
Personally, I've done 2 3/4 mile. Me personally, I don't know if anyone's done more or less. I personally have done 2 3/4 mile, approximate.
But you did it wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure I did. Yeah, drop from horizontal. It's real tough to establish a horizontal.
How would you do that on water? Because water is fluid. I mean, it's moving, right?
You can do it over water. Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't water is coming up and down and moving the whole time? So it's not going to be.
Some water is like the ocean is, but not still lakes.
Look at that. Measurable drop from horizontal. All of those.
Oh, you talking about geodetic surveying? Yeah, they don't do that.
Talking about a water level. It's right there. Measurable drop from the horizontal.
And what they use, what optic they use over what distance to establish their horizontal? Because if you go more than 300 foot at a time, you're losing the accuracy of that optic.
It looks about 3 feet of water level from my best guess. Maybe it's 6 feet. I don't know.
Yeah, water level. The reason they use a tool called a water level is because it establishes a horizontal.
You notice how that has only 2 points, and 2 points will, by definition, always form a line. Meaning,
so it's talking about the GIF.
There. Well, let's talk about how he
that
did
you're
it,
not looking at.
How did you do it, Rakia?
I used a tool that is well known to establish a almost damn near perfect horizontal over any distance.
Did
right?
You know?
When done at a short distance at a time. And you can extend that horizontal for however far you want.
Rakia. At a short distance at a time.
That's where the tool is most accurate. That's what the manufacturer will tell you.
Yeah, so you have nothing. Is that simple?
I have more than you, it seems. No drop from horizontal.
I have a gift right there. Shows me drop.
Let me look at your gift. Hang on. Give me 1 second.
I have nothing.
Okay, all right. Calm down. I'm going to look. I haven't never seen it, so can't talk about it.
The answer is going to be nah.
Still looking. What time is it at? What time's your gift,
Just
sir?
repost it. Repost.
No, just give me a time. I can see the times. Oh, I see. You're looking at using a water level from about 2 foot away from you to establish the horizon level. Come on, man. Really? Who is this?
You can do it longer.
That's different altitudes.
You're not insulting me, right?
Different altitudes, yes.
You're insulting yourself and everybody who's watching that.
No, Ricky, because if we took your
tool... What is
the
horizon, sir? Define the horizon.
Your tool up there.
Please define the horizon since you're using it in your gift. I'll define it for you. It's the apparent position where the sky appears to meet the ground or water. It never does. It's an apparent. No. The apparent is the very definition.
The line where the sky appears.
It actually doesn't, and it's affected by perspective and refraction.
The line where the sky appears to meet the earth.
Well, you can use it if you want.
The line where the sky appears to meet the earth. You're throwing in that extra apparent there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see what you're saying. Take that apparent.
Kindergarten level point.
I was doing it off my head. You're probably reading it off your computer as you sit there.
I am not reading it.
Okay.
Can I try an example?
My point is still you can't use it for accurate measurement.
The point is you're inserting that because you're dishonest.
It's not physical. You can't measure to it. Well, you can, but it'd be interactive.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't even know what apparent means.
I like that you're using a water level because you know what? That is the most accurate tool in the world. You know why? Because nature created it.
You don't know.
Because that's the way it appears to do with our eyes. That's the way we see it. It appears to do that. Yeah.
As you increase in altitude. As the guy increased in altitude, the horizon dropped, mate.
That's what we
The
see.
horizon does exactly what it does under the conditions that you're viewing it at, whatever angle of your viewing height and whatever angle of the light source. It changes. That's why it's an apparent position.
The viewing angle.
Yeah, everything affects it, right? Everything. That because it's not physical. It's not an actual place. It's not physical. You can't touch it.
No location. It's changing.
It's changing all the time. That's why you can't use it. If you rise in altitude and the angle of your light source changes and your angle to that object, which is an apparent position, changes, then it changes. I mean, what part don't you get?
They don't get it because they think it's a physical geometric horizon.
No, you get part of it. See that water level right there? See those things? You can separate that tube for miles. And it will give you the level of those two water. You know why? Because when water is undisturbed, it seeks and finds its level. That's why they put it in a tube like that, because it's not disturbed.
That's a great tool, yeah.
Water level. Yeah, water level.
That's a great point.
Always.
If you extended that pole,
it conforms to the shape of the.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No. Think about it. Let's say even if the pole bent between the two levels, the levels would stay level. But even if the pole
horizontal,
yeah, it'd be still horizontal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not be horizontal.
So do you get it? So let's say even if the pole between the two horizontals was curving, the water would still stay horizontal.
So what you're saying, the water level is no good for determining the shape of the planet?
No, it's perfect. You can do it over.
The definition of how we believe that works.
It could be curved. You just said it could be curved.
Yes, because if you add a third point in between, it's going to be higher than the one.
Ah, that's what they think, Matthew.
No, that's not what we think. That's what we know.
Large bodies, say canals of water.
Do it anywhere. 3 points. You get it.
Would be the same.
No, Rakia, they're saying that if you're breaking up, Rakia, you're roboting, Rakia.
No, that's not what you know. You measure it with an optic measure. Go ahead.
You're roboting, Rakia, a little bit. You're fine now, but they're saying they need 3 of those level things, those like that red liquid, and they think the middle one will be higher than the other 2.
In a line of sight from the first to the end, the middle will appear higher. It's long enough, sure.
So if Bev can prove that the middle one is not higher, you all become flat earthers overnight. Yeah.
How's he going to do that?
What do you mean? How's you just get 3 poles, like 3 tubes, like this, like we've got the red one.
Heretism already did that.
But you just said they could be curved in the middle, and you wouldn't know.
No, but the water level would be horizontal.
Yeah, Jeranism already
Guys,
did that.
How? I've been here. I've been in most. I've been banned off most flat Earth servers except this one. It's very funny.
This isn't a flat Earth server, I don't think.
That's probably why. They're all globe Earthers here. The only flat Earthers here, just a handful of us.
Okay, good.
I wanted to ask a clear question, actually.
I've shut down 3.
Sorry. Because that was pretty much me talking to him, and then everybody jumped in, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have been banned from every Flat Earth server. Go on.
Yeah, we want to hear your personal story, please.
I don't mind actually hearing. Why did you get banned from all the Flat Earth servers? What happened?
For talking.
There was this guy called Baba Yaga, I think. I was arguing with
Jose Meza.
And then and there was this guy with a clown profile picture in the 24/7 Flat Earth channel. He took things personally and banned me. This is it. And the other one's just I have a little team with a group of friends, just I don't know, just doing what you cultural call it, I don't know, whatever you want to do, but
you think it was like injustice?
It's not injustice, it's stupidity. This is just complete stupidity. Like, I've been looking at this flat Earth thing for the the past 3 years since
Yeah.
I was 15,
Okay.
and like around 13, 14 years old. Actually, I'll say when I was 12 years old, I was kind of convinced, like, oh my god, the Earth might actually be flat. But when my logic kicked in, which was pretty quick, yeah, that instantly fell off because
you were like, "There's just no way. There's no way they could lie to us, right?"
No, I just had the evidence in front of me. I have a telescope.
What evidence? How'd you use your telescope to prove that we were on a spinning water ball with water holding on all sides and we're spinning through infinite space? What telescope does that? I too have a telescope. It's not a good one, but actually, it's nowhere near yours, obviously.
Celestron? What's the brand?
Yeah, okay. So how did you use this very nice telescope to prove that you're on a spinning sphere? We'd like to hear it because this is the debate, right? Not that you actually have one, that you used it to prove something.
I'll give the simplest explanation I can. This is the simplest. This is the most basic. All right. So, observing our planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus. What do they all have in common?
You're viewing them
they're, they're all lights. They're all lights in the sky. That's what they have in common. Go on. Carry on.
They're all in a medium that no one can go to and physically touch them. Yeah. Anything else you want to know?
Anything else that's in common? What else have you noticed in common apart from their lights and they're in a medium?
They have got something in common that they have no life on them.
No life. That's another one. There's no life. That's what they have in common.
They all have no water on them.
Some appear to be made of gas and have rings around them, and some don't. Some seem to be physical. Some seem to be concave looking with craters. Some seem to be sphere looking. All different apparent sizes and shapes. Yeah. Anything else?
Good question. Yeah, we'll give you the answer. Okay. Next.
And they're all the biggest. Like, can we address the elephant in the room, guys? What's the number one thing about all these planets, all the objects?
They have similarities to each other, but they
just told you what
they have life on them. So they don't have similarities that we here on Earth have.
No, hold on, don't jump the gun, Brummy. He's already saying what are the similarities. We've told him. What's the next point?
What's the biggest similarity? Like between
biggest
all
similarity?
Yeah, biggest.
They all look like a light.
Equally, they're all spherical, or they're circular, and they're all got no life on them. They all have no water on them. So they all have a lot of similarities with each other, but that does not mean that we have them similarities, because we have water, we have good air that we can breathe, and we have life.
That's
so what's your point, mate?
Yeah.
So what's your point with your telescope?
First, we can drive a scientific conclusion that since there are other spinning planets and celestial bodies in the solar system and beyond, our planet is most likely also a sphere. We can also deduce that from the fact of gravitational constants, experiments through what's it called?
Look, so can we just clear this up? Are you saying because the planets look round, you're saying the Earth must be round?
And you're saying those planets with no life on them, then the Earth must not have life on them. So you're saying we're not living?
And you're saying that because they look like lights in the sky, the Earth also looks like a light.
Don't diverge from. I'm not talking about life. I'm just talking about the fact that they're circular or they're spherical, and they spin, and they spin.
Well, hold on. Have you seen behind the moon, the back of the moon?
No, because the moon's in a tilted. It's tidally locked.
So it's different too, then. Man, you have a lot of similarities, but a lot of things that are different, right?
A lot of similarities, but not.
Yeah. You see our point? That telescope is really nice. I'm sure you use it well. Thanks
do you
for
have
the
a point?
flat Earth proof.
Do you have a point?
All right, Mikhail, let's move forward. So you say you look in the sky, they're a ball.
I'm going to speak for 26 more minutes. After 26 more minutes, it's at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, see the balls in the sky, are you saying it means the Earth is a ball?
Yeah. if you look at a wall, like if you see something with if you see things which have a connection to them, you're going to connect the dots easily. It's just irrational to consider.
So tell me then, tell me, why isn't the snooker table round?
The what?
The snooker table or the pool table. I don't know how you call it in where you are.
By the way, you do get round pool table.
Cue ball, cue table, 8 ball, snooker.
What the fuck does an 8 ball pool table have to do with planets?
I'm saying
what the hell does other planets have to do with our
Bad analogy.
A pool table.
Even your
own very bad analogy.
With you.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, why isn't the pool table round?
It's a bad analogy.
The planet.
No, the bad analogy is saying that Venus appears to be a spinning sphere, so Earth is too. Although Venus doesn't have life and appears to be made of gas and blah blah blah.
I just want to know why
Earth should be the same as Venus. That's a bad analogy.
There you go, a round pool table. There you go.
No, that's a flat pool table. That's a flat.
There it is. There it is. I've just posted it. Round pool table.
Why doesn't? Okay, fine. Why doesn't the table look like the? Why doesn't the table look like the balls?
It's
you
about
wanted a round
gravity.
pool table. I gave you a round pool table.
Yeah, we give you a round circular Earth, flat
Exactly.
plane in a circle.
What's the problem?
Are you saying that Venus is on Earth and therefore,
notice how the balls don't roll off the table? You know why? Because it's flat.
Because it's level.
That's why the water
level
and it's contained by sides, right? That's why the water doesn't run off.
No, it
we get back to this question that I would want to ask.
Anything else y'all want in there?
It's still not level.
Rakia, we get back to a question I would want to ask.
Table analogy.
Use
then
your
you're
brains
saying
for once.
all of the planets are the pool balls, including the Earth. So you're saying that every pool ball is equal to a planet, except the Earth, which would be a flat disk on your pool table.
No, I wanna know from Mikhail why the table doesn't look like the balls.
Again, the table is not in question. The Earth is not the table. The Earth is one of the pool balls in your analogy.
Yeah, but because the balls are round, the table should also be round.
The stars and planets don't sit on the surface of the Earth, mate.
Well, yeah, they do.
Like
When
the
the sun
pool balls do on the pool
comes
table.
out, when the
You
sun
see,
comes,
I could easily measure drop from horizontal on that cue ball. What I couldn't do is measure drop from horizontal on that table.
Oh,
you understand now?
That's your problem.
Really get to this
You understand that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Simple question.
Any sphere, it's real easy to
You're
measure
stating the obvious.
drop from horizontal. The obvious is you have no drop from horizontal, so it's a flat plane.
Is the moon a ball?
You
I
have
don't
no
care
drop from
what's
horizontal.
above us. I don't
Is the
care
moon
what's
a
above
ball?
us. Although the moon doesn't
Hey, Rakia, what about
I have a
Mars?
question here.
it only circuits.
Hello.
Hello.
How is
Hello.
size going to affect measuring
Kimo,
that?
hello.
Kimo, is the moon a ball?
I think something's wrong with your mic, Curve. You're sounding really cracked up.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
the
care.
moon, is the moon a
Yeah,
ball?
we can't hear you and understand you because your mic is making your voice sound weird.
Can
Can
you
you
hear
understand
me?
me, Was?
Yeah,
I don't
gotcha.
think- Oh, it must be my earphones then.
Can you
Is the,
understand?
is the moon a ball, Kimo?
I'm not asking if
You
I'm
can't-
in good
The
quality.
moon is a flat
I'm asking if
disc.
You can understand me.
No,
I
Is the
can't
you're
moon
not good
understand a
quality,
word.
but I can understand
The
you.
moon is a flat
Yeah,
disc.
no one can
That's all.
understand you.
Yeah,
Alright,
that is a
fine.
problem. It's a flat disk is a problem.
Was
Is it round? Is the moon round, Kimo?
Guys, there are two completely separate conversations going on at the same time. One of them is going to have to stop.
Maybe
I
the
think-
one that
I
got
think
cut in.
Curved
I
was-
think Curve cut in.
I think Curved was talking first.
No,
No,
I started.
no from Rakia. Somebody asked him, since he can't understand me, he mentioned measure and drop from horizontal on the pool ball. Then he said he can measure drop from horizontal on any sphere. I'm simply asking, does the size affect how you can measure that and how far you would have to go in order to measure this drop? It's that simple.
You heard that
somebody,
right, Rakia?
somebody want to interpret that? I couldn't understand a word he was saying.
What did he say? Was
Sounds
can you
like a
translate what
foreign
Curve was
language.
saying?
Can I ask my question just now?
Not yet,
I
literally.
heard
Hold
something
on.
about size of balls. What's he on about?
Yeah, how you measuring the drop on a cue ball compared to the Earth, basically.
Oh yeah. Drop from horizontal. Just create a horizontal and measure down from it. It gives you the drop from
Yeah,
horizontal.
your scale's off, mate.
No. You can scale it out as big as you want. The measurement would just be different. The way you measure it is basically the same. You create a horizontal. Anything else?
Well, how do you measure the drop on the cue ball?
You create a horizontal line and then measure the drop.
He's asking you about how do you do that with the stuff in the sky, and that's not the. It's like when we asked someone a question earlier how they determine a distance to the star, and they didn't answer that question. But you're not really answering what they're saying. How do you measure the spherical object in the sky with the same method of the horizontal line and the drop?
I don't measure anything in the sky. Yeah. I measure
We're
physical
not talking
things.
about the sky, Brummy. We're talking about that ball. And the interesting question becomes here, Rakia, to what do you measure the drop? Standing on your cue ball, you have your horizontal. What do you measure the drop to?
To the physical points on the ball?
The physical last point that you see?
Any point, any 2 points. You can measure drop on a shape, sphere. Yeah.
If I wanted to drop
geometry, the oldest math there is, I believe. All other maths were created.
I don't think you could do that with the stuff in the sky though, because you have to be on the stuff.
Nobody's talking about the
It would
sky,
have to be physical. Yeah.
Someone asked me the question: How does he do that with?
That's not what we're talking about, Brummy.
The question was:
This has nothing to do with that, Brummy. Stop distracting, please.
Enjoy talking over me.
Question.
I don't know why grown men are asking another grown man how you can measure the shape of a cue ball, like the radius, circumference, drop from horizontal. Then what are you asking? Is it
asking?
It's really
the
clear.
size,
Maybe speak slow.
Sphere.
I can't understand a word.
Still broke it up.
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
Oh, I'm trying to find out. I did some things to try to fix it. Am I still breaking up? What's going on?
No, you're reasonably smooth.
You sound okay to me, mate. I think he's just trolling.
All right. So anyway, the question is more about the size of the sphere and how that affects your ability to measure the drop. On a cue ball, it's obvious. You put a horizontal on it. I should ask you how you're going to establish a horizontal on a cue ball and what you think that means, but we don't have to go there right now. Just the size of the sphere and how that affects your measurement, your ability to measure it. Over what distances would you need to go to see this drop from horizontal, Rakia? Don't act you don't know what I'm talking about.
I think I got the gist of that in between the crackles and breaks. Yeah, the larger the shape, the larger the sphere, the longer your horizontal would have to be to get an accurate, get a true measurement. Because if you're on a large sphere and you only go an inch with a horizontal line, then you're not going to be able to measure that. But if you go a mile, let's say, on a certain sphere with a given radius, let's just take the Earth, the radius that they give us for the supposed Earth sphere. Then it would be approximately 8 inches of drop, depending on where you are on that horizontal. And it's exponential, squared.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What good is going 100 meters going to do?
None on something so large. You'd have to go, half a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, which is easily done. I mean, we have professionals, very good equipment that can measure very precisely, apparently to the moon, what the distance is. So creating a horizontal over a mile is easy.
We're not measuring a horizontal to the moon, so to speak.
No, but what I'm saying is we have these tools that can accurately do everything, right? So obviously we can do a horizontal line over a mile. No problem. Even the layman, even someone off the street can be taught to do this in like 5 minutes.
Well, then why can't you do it correctly?
No, you can get on YouTube and just go rent a piece of equipment and do it yourself. It's easy. No. Yes.
You personally, why do you insist on doing something that doesn't differentiate between the two?
What do you mean?
Going a little distance and then setting up and shooting another line, and then going that distance and then shooting another line.
Yeah, but that's not all we do. That's not all we do. We back check to make sure we're establishing the horizontal.
And what do you do when you back check? What does that do?
We close the loop. It double checks your accuracy of creating the horizontal.
Rikia, please, seriously, I'm being serious with you.
I am too.
I want you to explain what you mean when you say this.
When you close the loop?
Yeah, back check, shoot the loop, close the loop, all that. Describe a little bit about what you're doing and how you do it.
I got you. And this is also, you can, don't trust me, you can go look at the manufacturer specs and they'll teach you how, in YouTube videos of professional surveyors will teach you how to close the loop, just in case you don't trust me. But you can establish horizontals over short distance. Let's just give an estimate of 300 feet, all right, or meters, however y'all want to do it. And then you can establish that from point A to point B, and then go from point B to point C in any direction and keep that same horizontal. And as you come back to point A and double check that your horizontal is the same, that's called closing the loop. Now you can do this with 3 points, 5 points, 100 points, and you can do this at great distances in this method. But if you go over like 5 miles or 3 miles or a mile, and you go from point A to point B to that mile, and try and double check with optics, it's going to be wrong because it's affected by I want to say optics, but yeah, I don't like that. It's affected by the atmosphere and viewing things over long distance.
I think doing that distance on the Earth, well, you're going to have like a lot of the Earth is uneven, so I don't think that would work really. Over water would be better. Yeah. But then, obviously, your apparent horizon, isn't it? That's going to be also the shooting and refraction. So,
wait, how have you established that A to B is in the same plane as B to C?
Yeah, that's what the tools do. That's what they're made and manufactured for. And then you can also double check it with the most accurate tool ever known to man, which is water. That's why they use water levels. Yeah. And you know what you use to what you use to establish a level with these man-made tools is also liquid water, basically.
You're not answering the question. You're not answering, Rikia.
Well, I'm not on purposely avoiding the question because I'll state it again. Water is the most accurate level, and the man-made tools are really accurate also, but they use water to level themselves. So that'll tell you right there that water or liquid is the most accurate leveler. Yeah,
but
how does the tool show that A to B and B to C are in the same plane?
Oh, I don't know. Ask the manufacturers. They're the smart guys. I just know they work because I can double check it.
Right, so talking to you about it is useless. And all of your pronouncements are just piles of shit.
I know they work because I've double checked them with, guess what? Water. You can deny it all you want. You can deny that these smart engineers made an instrument that doesn't measure in horizontal, but I'm not going to deny science.
Fuck off.
I'm not going to deny science. I'm going to say those scientists and engineers that came up with this very accurate tool to establish horizontal are doing it right.
I don't understand it, but I can talk about it.
So who's that? Have you which auto level or the Ally do you use? What's your favorite? Which one did you use this morning? I have 2 of mine out right now. 2 separate crews using them right now.
Yes, and you have proven repeatedly, you stated repeatedly that they are not accurate over distance because they will not establish a horizontal over distance. You know why?
I did not say that. I did not say you can't. No, listen to what I said very carefully. You can create a horizontal over distance using these tools, but you can't do it in one shot. You know why? Listen up very carefully, because the atmosphere affects those tools when you get above 300 feet or so. That's what the manufacturer will tell you, not me.
That's not what the manufacturer will tell you.
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh, no, they don't. Literally
Oh,
wrong.
yes, they do.
Horizontal is good for a distance because it is not going to curve that much for a distance. But
Curve. Horizontal doesn't curve. It never does. Horizontal, once it starts curving, is no longer horizontal. And if these manufacturers created a tool that created a horizontal curved line, they wouldn't stay in business.
if you make it in steps, it will curve by definition.
Now,
it
stays horizontal. You're gonna have
if it were able to be made infinitely long.
Yeah, no. You have plus and minus due to human error and manufacturing, like the equipment error and all that. You'll have plus and minus, defects or whatever over distance. But overall, it will create a horizontal line.
Right? To eliminate it.
I'm sorry, what?
That's why you flip it, to eliminate it, to correct for that error,
Well, you eliminate a lot of the error, but you still have human error and manufacturing error, whatever. But it still creates a horizontal line, yeah, over any distance.
No, a straight line.
Used properly.
Line is not a horizontal line. Straight line is
Straight
not the
line
same
will
as
be
a
locally
horizontal line.
horizontal.
A straight line.
You can have curved lines all you want. That's called an arc or a curve. It's not a horizontal.
Straight line is only locally horizontal.
I don't know of any equipment that creates a curved horizontal. If you know of one,
You're literally making one because you
stand on an
No,
island
I'm not.
with nothing but water around you and trace the horizon, and you'll make a 360
the
degree
horizon is a
line.
apparent position. That's not a horizontal.
Again, you can follow the horizon.
Again, it's affected by atmosphere. You can't
use
use it.
horizontal by definition.
Okay, y'all just don't want to hear it. Y'all already made up your mind.
You will have a circular horizon.
Yeah, it's not accurate for geometry. It's not accurate for measurement. It's just accurate for eyesight and navigation. So good luck with that.
Again, circular horizon. What you just said was debunked with one simple observation.
What, you've debunked the flat Earth, you think?
Kimo, tell me
I
where the
just
sun
debunked
goes
that
at
you
night
can't
on a
have a
flat Earth.
curved horizontal.
No. You've got to show that the horizontal is curving, because that's what we naturally see. Anyway, you're going against what we observe naturally.
Easily done and observed. Stand on an island with water all around you, look at the horizon, and then trace 360 degrees. You can do this by spinning in one place, and you will draw a circle with the horizon, which is a curved horizon.
But that circle will be bigger and smaller depending on the location, depending on the weather, depending on the turbidity.
Still a circle. And what is a circle? Curved. Case closed.
Yeah, but that circle will not be the same size. It will change different.
Irrelevant to the point.
No, because we're looking for a curve that goes vertically. What's wrong with you? We're talking about going down the board.
We're talking about creating a horizontal. You're talking about curves. Totally different.
Yeah.
You said
straight
you can't
horizontal.
Have a curved horizontal.
What's the difference?
Are you saying we can't have a horizontal?
That you can make a curved horizontal. Case closed.
Make a curved horizontal.
No. We're not asking.
Yeah, if you jumped up and down on it a few times, maybe I don't fucking know, but you're talking out your asses.
Can you make a horizontal
Yes, you are.
vertical?
Yeah, definitely, aren't they?
Yeah, it's called a plumb or zenith.
How do you bend a fucking vertical? Come on, use your brain. How do you bend a fucking horizontal?
If you bend a horizontal, it becomes a curve. It's not horizontal.
Yeah, of course it does. So does a vertical. If you bend that becomes a curve, don't know.
Yeah.
For any man who thinks a horizontal is curved, needs to have their noggin.
Yeah.
Noggin being the thing on top of your head.
Yeah, they need their head banging against the fucking wall.
But Nidhogg, you understand what we're asking for, yeah?
I understand you're moving the goalpost away from the simple fact that you can show and demonstrate a curved horizontal by looking at the horizon quite easily.
Oh, right, yeah, but we're talking about the vertical. Can you make that horizontal?
Those goalposts just keep moving, don't they?
We're
hold on.
Talking about measuring geometry, and you're talking about looking at a horizon. Who's moving the goalpost here?
It's a change in perspective.
I think it's you.
It's a change in perspective.
I think that goalpost got knocked down, dragged over a couple states, and then reset back up by you, not us.
Then please.
But at least the goalposts were on the same horizontal plane, right? Those posts were not at different elevations, right, Nidhogg?
What?
If we take goalposts and stretch them, they will be, if we extend them as far as we can, so you've got one post, another post, we extend them horizontally, will they ever drop in elevation, those poles, if they're parallel?
Don't answer that.
The goalpost, you know a football goalpost on a flat football.
And there won't be fucking goalposts anymore, would there? There'd just be
no, but those goalposts on the flat football field. Are you saying that?
You changed the experiment.
Hold on, let me ask this a second. Are you saying then?
Chemo.
What?
Chemo, how did they find out the actual distance to these stars?
Sorry, hold on. Go on.
What's the method they use? Did you hear me? Did anyone hear me?
Parallaxes and fucking all that.
How does that work? How does it work? Can you explain the method that you use?
Fucking distances and all that crap, aren't you?
Well, how does it work? What's the mechanics behind it?
Well, stick your dick on the floor and get the sun just in the right position. You can reflect a fucking line off the end of your dick.
Anyone else who wants to actually like explain it properly?
Why do you need to know the distance to the stars? What's that got to do with it?
How do you determine the distance to it? Well, what method do you use to find that?
I don't know. Why are you asking that? What's that got to do with what we're currently talking about?
It was a question that Kimo asked earlier, but no one answered. And we've been talking about the horizon, how the horizon drop does, and how we do other ways to measure things. But we never got the answer to that one.
Will be right along now, won't it? See, I don't mind talking shit all day if you are, because I can agree with you then.
So, no, can anyone explain it? No?
I'm not.
What are you asking?
I don't see what the fuck it's got to do with what we're talking about. I'm not. I'm sure it's just weird that you're asking it.
We're just measuring. We're measuring the drop.
Totally derailed a conversation. But
what was you actually talking about? Consider it. If you don't want to answer the question, don't bother. But if someone else, you want to carry on what you were talking about before, do that.
it.
Should we just all go fucking swimming or what?
What you say, mate?
I'm willing to move on because no one can talk about the other.
If they don't want to explain it, they don't have to.
No, I think Nidhogg is explaining it. Nidhogg is the only one who understands horizontal and level. So.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow. But no one's explaining how they determine the distance to the stars. So that's the question you asked, Quimmer. No one answered it.
You're all moving the goalpost experiment.
Oh, we can go back to that later. But hold on, do they concede? That's the thing. They're not.
Oh, we do not. Your question is essentially dishonest.
No,
Do you still think horizontal is curved, sir?
You inferred so many flat places that it would have to be on that it can only have one answer, and none of these things are flat. So, yes, it is dishonest.
So is horizontal still curved to you?
Yep.
Good luck, sir.
Mm-hmm. If you place that water level, make, little posts of it, have them go out throughout the horizon, you will observe that water level clearly curving away from you.
Oh, really? Is that how easy it is?
Really?
And what do you observe that with?
The tool you want.
You pick one.
Well, you
maybe
can try
maybe one you've used yourself, so you can talk about it.
From one end, use me over the level. That will be nice.
Get that. Use sound to measure light speed. There you go. Go and figure it out.
Sound to measure. That's nonsensical.
Yeah, well. There you go. Then you're gonna have to go and work it out because sound measures light. There you go.
One of the ways we did it with time delay.
Yep, the time delay of the sound is the distance of the light beam. Yeah, the atomic particle line rules.
No.
Yes, because that's what a light ray is, a fucking atomic particle line, you nugget. Wave functions, use your brain.
Okay, so as the conversation broken down, we can't establish a horizontal plane of reference. So if we become globe earthers, for example, we would be struggling to establish a horizontal plane of reference. We'd be like, how do we do it? They're just forces acting on this horizontal, and it just keeps on curving it. So how do you guys in the globe world establish a horizontal plane of reference? What do you do?
You just stump and stick a datum line down and work from that datum line. There you go. It's as simple as that.
So
horizontal to what?
Who's done this before? Whoever on the globe side?
Every surveyor and everybody that has ever built anything in their whole fucking existence across the last 10,000 fucking years. Even the Egyptians used it to build their fucking big stone carcasses.
Yeah, but what about modern day? Do you know anyone personally? Do you know anyone personally, Tal? Tal, do you know anyone? Do you know anyone personally, Tal? Personally, that has established a horizontal plane?
Every surveyor I've talked to.
No, do you know them personally? Though?
Yeah, Jesse Kozłowski.
Oh yeah, Jesse Kozłowski. He'll do us a name.
You've never spoke to Jesse Kozłowski, Tal.
Because he's just the same as me, apart from he was a different type of surveyor. I was an asbestos surveyor. He was a land surveyor. So he just surveyed things differently to me, you know.
I've talked with Jesse, Chemo. What's the problem?
What, a strawberry picker?
What strawberry picker got to do with it? I used to be a fucking
but for some reason there's someone sitting right below you saying Chemo is a rent boy. How weird.
Probably,
what we're looking for,
you must be a rent boy.
I don't like this packer.
What we're looking for, Tal, is on the globe.
Foolish. Hold on. I want to see if Foolish will answer the question. I'm wondering how we determine the distance to the stars. What method do we use to find that out?
Depends on the star, basically. Generally, if they're fairly close, we can use triangulation, and if they're further away, we use standard candle.
So how do you know? How does this triangulation really give you the proof that it is the distance that you claim it to be?
Because that's how triangulation works, and we've verified it like billions of times.
Okay, yeah. Well, what do you use to actually get that the line in the?
Because I observed triangulation works at
how do you get 100 that distance
feet, 1,000 feet, 5 miles, 50 miles.
How do you get the distance?
We make the assumption.
It's an assumption.
That's then consistent out to vast distances because there's no reason why it isn't.
So there's nothing you actually can.
The Earth.
Hold on. Let me understand.
Well, let me explain it to you. The Earth creates a triangle.
Go on.
All right, go ahead. No, go ahead. Say something stupid and moronic.
I just want to know about how you get the hypotenuse to formulate that triangle, to then know the distance between.
Right, that's what I was about to explain. We know the orbit of the Earth. So if we take observations 6 months apart, we know the distance between the two different positions of the Earth 6 months apart. And therefore we can create a base to the triangle and make the calculations from that.
Base for triangle and 2 angles. We're good.
It's a shame that it's all based on
trigonometry.
What?
See, the interesting thing here about the horizontal plane,
trigonometry.
Kia was onto it because the way you measure the drop to the cue ball would be establish a plane and measure the drop from that plane. The interesting thing here becomes when you establish a plane on Earth. The question obviously being if it follows Earth or not, and it doesn't. If you put up a circle of those water levels, make a pipe that goes up in little points in a great big circle, you would agree that if you have something in the center of that circle, points at all those water peaks, and we spin it, that would be that thing in the center would be level with all those points, right?
What, you asking me a question?
I'm asking everyone a question. Wouldn't that be accurate?
I wasn't really listening. What was you saying?
If we make a circle, let's say what does Rikia claim is good for that theodolite thing? 500 feet, whatever. 500 feet radius circle.
It's called closing the loop. Yeah.
Closing the loop. A water level.
You can do that with water levels too. Yeah.
And it has points at that where the pipe goes up and it's open, so we have the level at all those points all the way around the circle, right? We place that satellite thing in the center at a height where it's measuring, where it spins and points directly at all those points. It's going to be level, right? It's going to be level with those. We would all agree that it's a horizontal plane, right?
Of course it's a horizontal plane.
Right. Yeah. So when you bring the water in from that water level to your horizontal point in the center, you will have the water higher.
How can water pile up on itself? Stop being silly, sort.
Oh, just that.
No.
How are you measuring that? It's only when you use a man-made tool that's affected by light that you get an accuracy.
Man-made tool affected by light.
Yeah, like a theodolite over long distances. Yeah.
It would only be level with all those points if it was level. Actually,
water will always be level when undisturbed. Yes, and when you double check that water level using a man-made object such as a theodolite or auto level, it's affected by light.
You said you're trying to deny my test.
No, water will be level. Water establishes the horizontal.
I don't know if that was really explained well. You said basically get a circle, like a circular table, make it like a. That's all I kind of got. Like
the water level going around us in a big circle with points around.
Like a big table, like a big level table.
Since you like just very big, and we all agree that all that water is going to be level with it itself, right? All those points are level. That's a plane, that circle, isn't it?
Yeah, all right.
Circle, square, no matter what. Yeah,
it is a plane shape, right?
Yeah, you've got a table. Yeah, you've got a table. It's level. What now?
They're all at the same distance from us, and that is a level. If we place something in the center, that is level also, and points. And when you spin it, it points at every one of those points. It's going to be level with that outer circle, right?
Yeah.
You would agree, and I say
like a circle, like a laser.
A laser, theodolite, auto level, whatever. If it spins perfectly and points at all those points, then it has to be level, right? With them.
Yeah.
So if we bring that water, if we take one of those water levels into that circle and place it besides that theodolite,
get off the text to whoever's on it. Leave it alone.
It's gonna be higher.
Whoever's fucking about on my text, just get your hands off it. I won't stand for that. I'll start looking for things and poking around people's computers in a minute. See if they like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're trying to say with the water, but if you use water only, it will always be the same as the other water, whatever level you're putting it. If you start using a theodolite or something that's affected, it depends on what parameters you're using. If you go outside the parameters that it was built for, then it's going to get more inaccurate. And it's basically because of how it receives light and information. Affected by the atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't see what you're even trying to determine. What even measuring? I don't think it's a good example of anything.
Rikia, if that instrument is accurate to create you a level, if you just use it in steps, which was your claim, it was specifically you claimed just that, and you were good at using it. That is accurate. We're using it. Well,
to measure what? To measure what exactly?
Is it good for making a level at 500 feet?
Horizontal. Yeah, 500 feet, sure, under most conditions. But water would be the most accurate.
Yes, and we're making it level with all that water all the way around.
Horizontal.
Let's just stay with level. We're making that.
No, let's just stay with horizontal because that's what we're doing. Level could be at a slope or whatever.
Yeah,
level
leveling.
can be at an angle.
Water isn't level, and I think the way it's not flat. When they talk about level in surveying, leveling, I mean,
We're
Curve
talking
was
about
up yesterday.
establishing a horizontal with water levels because water
See,
always
you're asserting
finds
something,
its-
Kia. It's not evident.
its
That is just you asserting something.
Wait.
No, I'm not. That's what
Wait.
water does.
Wait. Why do Kia say level could be at an angle? What is he talking about?
Well, you can have a straight line, is what I'm saying, at an angle. It would be level to a certain
That's not level.
angle.
That's not
Yeah,
level. What
I
we're talking about.
agree. And level's not curved either. You agree with that?
That's not the point. Okay.
I'm wrong, but you're right.
You are
what
wrong.
I'm saying is
level is not
we
at
don't
an
use
angle.
that in. We don't use
How can it be
that
fucking
with,
straight an angle, you nugget?
Tao, let them speak. Come on.
Horizontal is what
Ema,
we're
that's all
establishing.
he does is speak, no matter who's speaking.
Now you can say that
he's up on
horizontal
the
is also
perfecting
level, and I
Kia.
would agree with you.
Now
I'm just
again,
giving you what I've learned, what I know with my experience.
Right.
I might be
Why-
wrong, but yeah, establishes a horizontal, which I would agree would be level, right? But we don't
Jesus
use
fucking
level.
Christ, could you ramble all day saying the same three fucking things?
Yeah, because you haven't gotten it, and you're trying to argue with it.
All right, now, why are you
All
trying
right.
to distinguish between level and horizontal?
Well, I'm just trying to show y'all that y'all use level wrong. Y'all think level is curved, and
No,
I'm saying
in
no,
your world.
it's horizontal.
In your
in my world, it's horizontal. Yeah, my world, horizontal.
No, not level, horizontal.
Reality, horizontal, level, not curved.
Anybody feeling the point here?
Anybody feeling that we live in reality where horizontal?
Not
is-
looking for your rhetoric.
Okay. Well then,
Kia,
go on mute.
you're simply just circling back to rhetoric. If
Why
you
is
do
he
not,
level
if
and
you don't
horizontal?
agree
Then? Why is he?
So, can you let Curve finish this?
on,
No, I can't.
He's done. Next.
you cannot agree that if it spins all the way around and points to all those levels, then that is a plane. It would be in a plane with those.
Yeah,
You're simply
horizontal.
dishonest. Let's just stay with one thing at a time. Is it a plane or is it a plane not?
That's assuming that the table's level, right? For a start, and we know that the Earth, for example, hold on, for the Earth itself is uneven surface. You know, across water would be
Are
probably
you
the best
saying
place to
that
do that.
water hoses want to fill up to a level if they're all connected, Brummy?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Are you talking? What are you actually talking about? Because are you actually like measuring the Earth, or what measuring what?
We're on about establishing a horizontal plane. You're
Over
simply
what?
just confusing
Over
it
what?
with a table.
Over
Stop
what are you
looking at the
measuring?
table.
Just the table.
Establishing a horizontal plane that we all can agree would be horizontal by definition.
A horizontal plane.
Or you have a different definition of horizontal plane, apparently.
I do not. It's going to be horizontal from where that the
Sorry,
other is at. It'll center.
it's very
We can all
simple. If
agree
you,
that.
it's easiest if you just allow them when they bring up that horizontal plane, which I understand that you can conceptualize also. It's important to remind everyone that it's an imaginary plane. It's not a plane that you can construct.
Like the imaginary globe, Kosho.
I'm now efficiently constructing one that we should all agree on because it is going to follow every rule that every flat earther ever set.
What are you trying to
I have
measure?
that circle of water level.
What exactly are you trying to measure? Because you're not really being very clear, are you?
Oh, Brummy, because you're not letting me finish it. Stop with your freaking table.
Okay, well, please explain it to me nicely. What are we measuring?
It's at 500 feet, right? There's a big circle, radius 500 feet. Water levels all the way around. We have a tool in the center that visually points us to the peak of all that water. All those points, all the way around. Brummy, do you agree that is a line?
Are you measuring what? Are you measuring the Earth or what? What are you trying to measure?
That tool in the center is on a line with all those points.
I don't
We've
know
agreed
what
like
you're talking
10
about.
times. Yeah, that would be a horizontal. Yeah.
Can I say something? And I might sound stupid, but I think you just constructed a fun house. It doesn't. I don't know. And I'm not saying that. I don't think that it's describing what you think it's describing.
What do you think it's describing?
Okay, well, let me make this distinction because this is one that they often don't make, and that's the difference between all levels, like a spirit level, sight level, auto level, these kind of levels, and water level. And these two concepts are actually a little bit different. And all those types of levels, when you measure them, you've defined the position that you're at. You know, that position will be level, and then you now can because you've defined that one spot as level, you can now construct a imaginary horizontal plane. So if you like have a sight level and it's going to be level and it's going to look out to the distance, it's going to try to make a straight line. So, you know, you can make a straight plane. But when you have a water level, it's going to actually, you know, change with the way the Earth changes, the geoid, because it's going to, whatever the elevation.
The
Right. So with the construction that you made, if you imagine you made it wide, like 10 miles radius, you know, you have a point in the center that's going to be higher than all the points on the side that would want downward.
Kosher, that is of course my claim, and it will be higher. But I started out saying,
I thought you were talking about constructing a horizontal.
That's not in reality, though, Kosher. That's what the globe model
That's
says.
not reality, and you can't show that. You're only theoretically talking about it. You can't show that.
But you are right, Kosher, in the sense that
if you go do that test, yourself, you will show the opposite.
What will show it?
Yeah.
What will show it, Kosher?
Bev's test. If he does it correctly, Bedford, that guy from a long time ago, the Bedford level. Test. He did exactly this. So it's like the first flat Earth test. It's been done. People was in the newspapers. So it's like it's not news or anything. This
he
is
showed that it was
this is
flat,
reality.
right? Didn't he show?
No. He showed that the other guy was wrong. Robotic was wrong, and it should have even. You think it would have been over then?
Using the optics over 6 miles, we know you can't do that anymore. So that test is bunk. So water will prove it. You're right, Bev will prove it. Yeah.
Kosher, how is it possible when we know that gravity is not a force? So even if it did appear that it was at a lower elevation, how would you scientifically validate this?
Okay, very simply. I wouldn't quibble about the terms that are used. I would agree with everybody that, like you, who doesn't agree with gravity, but you do agree things fall down. And that's all that we need. So things fall down, things are compelled to the ground. That rule,
I don't
instead of saying gravity, let's say that rule is what we're using.
I don't quite agree with that because, like I say, the direction is determined by the density, the relative density, Kosher. There is no down. There is no up. There is no left. There is no right.
The relative density doesn't give it directionality. Like it, you know, lighter things go up, heavier things go down.
No, things go towards the less dense medium, depending on the density of the object.
Yeah, it can, but let's say there's no air in a room and they still go down, then you wouldn't say the air itself is causing it to go down. So it wouldn't be the actual.
No, but the reason why it's going that way
surrounding that situation, so things would go down regardless.
I think that's fair. That's why I said that also, because I would be asking too much if I were to say something about gravity or space time or whatever. But that fact we can agree on. Brummy agree with it. You guys.
Yeah. Well, I feel like even if it's not, I don't think you could actually have a perfect vacuum though. So you could even argue that 0.1%. You could, you know, there is other things that we can answer it with, but you know, I don't think it's right for people to say that it's causing the directionality due to, because some cases we can, you know, probably factor that out to the, you know, the highest degree, but not perfect vacuum. We can't create that. You know. So
the reason why this is a difficult argument for you, Brummy, and you know, because you believe in this gradient, and you're saying, well, the density is less as you go up. That's why you're having this problem. That's why you can't answer this question. But the density, the medium that we're in now, is the same everywhere. You see, and only the only thing that changes is the temperature. So if you increase the density in one area, the object will go in that the opposite direction.
Change the word density for pressure, and then, you know, to have the same conclusion you came to. Because actually they behave similarly. The way pressure, you know, higher and lower pressures and higher and lesser densities, they behave very similarly. So in the case of the atmosphere, it's obviously the pressure gradient, not really very much the density gradient.
No, but again, you need a force for pressure, which you don't have. So how can the atmosphere have pressure if there's no force?
Well, it's the thing that we agreed on a second ago. This is why it's important to. These are very realistic things. Things fall to the ground. Everything's compelled to the ground.
No, they're not.
This is obvious, and once you accept that, you realize that the air is compelled to the ground. The air on top of the air is compelled to the ground.
Not true.
So if you
I don't know about that.
That's false, Kosho. So you can't just get away with saying things like that.
Okay, let's not say air then. Let's say water. The water is compelled to the ground.
No, it's not compelled. Kosho, we have clouds. We have water that goes up.
For free water that goes up.
Gases have. Alright, never mind.
Let's think only about the water that goes down. The water that goes down behaves. Yeah.
Sorry to keep talking over you, mate. Go on, finish it off.
I'm just saying it because you guys agreed, or you agreed that things go down, water goes down. You don't want to say air for now, so won't jump to air, but water goes down. The way that water behaves in a lake or the ocean is if there's more water above that water because it's all being compelled down, the water at the bottom is going to have all the pressure of the weight of the water above it, and that's actually what gives it the pressure in the water. So it's not a very mysterious principle. It's a very common principle. And all we have to do now is translate it to air.
I think that the reason there's pressure is not because of a force acting upon it. I think it's just stacking more stuff on top of something. So there's just more, molecules or whatever you want to define it, atoms, whatever level you want to take it to. There's just more stuff. But I don't think that it has the same effect on gases. And I don't think that gravity is responsible for things going down and only responsible for gases going up because they are pulling the other gases down. I don't think that makes sense to me. So I would say that whatever's making it go down, I wouldn't say it was a force, and whatever's going up, I wouldn't say that as a force either. And I think they are related.
No, Kosho, you see, this is the thing. You brought me into your, molecule heliocentric understanding. But you're saying that the water is being pulled down towards the Earth, right?
Right. Every single thing is, yes.
Yeah. So you're invoking gravity, a force.
Nope. No. I'm just agreeing on the principle of reality. Just like if I said that you pee and poop like everybody else, I
have to be so
use
rude.
the bathroom too. I'm not gonna say these are things that we can agree on because we know that they're true without even having to think about them that hard.
You don't have to be so rude.
And so we know that things are compelled to the ground without thinking about it that hard. We know that this is the truth. So.
No, again, you're speaking in absolutes. Again, this is the problem. We know. What do you know without an experiment, right?
If the atmosphere was the same everywhere, then helium wouldn't go up. Radon wouldn't fall down. And what we're seeing is a density column in the atmosphere, the same as you're seeing a density column in your liquid jar thing that you use. Exactly the same fucking principle. Less densities.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
More densities, the lower it goes.
I don't think you understand what I was saying. If for you to say that makes me think that you don't really listen or understand what I was saying. I don't think it would have these problems.
Where you got the problem?
Do you think, right, that the relationship with gravity in your model is pulling the other gases down, which is also creating things to go up? That's the relationship that you.
No, it's a density.
Hold on.
Density versus density.
But even in buoyancy, it has the gravity in there, doesn't it? In the formula, right? Yeah. So what you're saying is the reason that this happens is also because of a downward pull. And I think you may have got it right, but you've also got it wrong. I feel like there is a relationship between up and down, but I don't think the relationship is to do with gravity. I don't think gravity is the actual. I think there's something else.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. You can think that. I mean, for me, I'm going. And this is Kosho's using a similar argument to the one I use, which is to me, gravity is the observation of things accelerating towards the Earth. And when I drop something and it's heavy, it falls towards the Earth, and it's a constant rate, regardless of the weight of the object. If they've got the same aerodynamic properties, then those objects will fall at the same rate towards the Earth. And when Chemo brought that up earlier and said, "Oh no, that's not the case. Heavier things fall faster," and I said, "Well, if I've got a parachute I fall a lot slower than a ball bearing. If the parachute works, obviously.
Kosho, check out this picture that Rupert's posted in the chat here with the boat.
Awesome.
Right? So that boat is floating.
The first time I saw this, I thought it was a butt cheek.
Yeah, this is a boat floating upside down, right? No forces are acting on it. It's just floating like it would up the right side up. So are you saying gravity now is being pulled in the opposite direction? But where's the mass that's making it being pulled up?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, this picture doesn't seem like it's based in reality or anything like that. The blue things, the dark blue, those are boats. Is that right?
Mini boats.
And the sails, those sails are the gray things?
Mini sails, yeah.
And the white, what's that white?
That's the background.
It's just the background.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the air? Because they're sailboats, so I would assume it's air.
Well, yeah, it's just like as above and so below, yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So this just looks like a drawing somebody made. It doesn't really look like something that is describing.
Oh, it's an actual video.
Real. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like the actual environment there doesn't seem like it's anything that you would find in any like a real place. It doesn't look like something you'd see in reality.
Kosho, this is part of an experiment. The video comes from an experiment where they're observing a property that they've never captured on film before, of like a reverse gravity thing going on, but it's part of a research project. So read up on it. It's just it was in Science. I don't know which publication this week.
Well, will you briefly tell me what's going on here? Because if
you want to check it out, Coach, like I said, I'll bring you next year's news today, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna see. I just want like a grenade. If you give me like a 1 or 2 sentence.
I can't remember. I think they're using sound to do it.
Okay.
No, resonance, vibration, yeah.
Yeah, there's something they're opposing gravity using sound or something.
Why is there 2 directions of gravity though?
Exactly.
Well,
that's
part of the experiment. It's just you have to research the experiment. I'll go look it up. I'll go.
No, that's fine. No, I won't make. I just didn't know if you had on top of your head. Okay,
he's trying to do a gotcha on it, and this is just a new piece of science. Chemo doesn't understand the science behind it, so he's just having some fun with you. That's all.
I believe when I read it, Kosho, it's about acoustic wave levitation, and its cancellation of a gravitational field is what they're trying to study.
Oh, so it kind of like simulates. Oh, so it cancels gravity at the same time as. Oh wait, okay. So I guess it'll cancel gravity and then also allow it to. It's basically behaving only on those vibrations. Then, I guess.
Yeah, it allows the 2 masses to track the boats on both sides of the water because the water's a heavier mass in their experiment.
Oh wait, so they actually are being they canceled Earth's gravity, but they're being compelled by the water's gravity and okay, that is weird.
You need to watch it, Kosho. Read up on it.
So this last question, and then because I know Chemo's trying to make a point or something, and I agree, Chemo. I should watch it. But how thick is that water in this experiment?
It's not much water, Kosho.
It's not water?
It's not much water.
It's not much water. Okay, so it could be like an inch or something.
Yeah, it's a magnified image. I had all the specs last week because I thought the video was intriguing, and it's highly theoretical science on propulsion systems.
Well, I didn't even know gravity worked on these microscopic levels.
Well, the water's only it's placed between 2 pieces of glass, so it's not very thick. There's not a lot of water there.
Okay. What's that effect called? The Meissner effect or the fucking bullshit effect? What's it called?
Something like that.
Yeah, the fucking Cabanero effect. I guess so. No, the Casimir effect. Casimir, that's what it's called. I was curious.
It's really high-end research into advanced fields that they just captured a phenomenon that they'd never seen on film before. Is what it is.
So the boat, Kosho, yeah, it's one thing to have the water, we know the cause, but the boat itself is floating on its own accord. Nothing to do with the vibrations, and that's where...
It has nothing to do with the vibrations?
No, the vibrations is to do with the water being held in place, yeah? Once the water's in place, things become buoyant in it, just as if you were to put it on top of the water. You put it underneath it, upside down, it acts in the same way. It's actually independent of any forces that are there. So if there were any gravitational forces pulling it down, it would have pulled it off the bottom of that water there. See? Again, this is brand new science that a lot of you born earthers, because you don't do your own research, you don't look at the information, you think you know everything because you've been told it in the past.
Until you present the actual report for that, you have not presented anything.
Yeah. They've got a paper on this.
You presented an abstract and a bit of clips, movie clips. You want the actual report, and we will tell you where you're wrong.
I want to see more cleavage. More cleavage this time.
Science is not just some abstract. You want the actual report.
So, Kosho, how do you explain that the water 50 miles above the Earth, that the water doesn't come from the Earth, is what NASA was saying? They're called...
NASA says what is that experiment?
Yeah, so in that video that I posted for you, not this one.
What is the experiment you're quoting actually for? What were they trying to find?
Oh, no, not that one either. That's the wrong one. Let me...
Come on,
remember, these scientists...
What was the actual experiment for?
Those scientists there, they presuppose gravity. Yeah, so we can't take their science as gospel because they don't have any independent variables, and that's why they're baffled about how this boat. But Kosho, if you go to 4 minutes,
and then we can just refute it because you have presented no evidence, neither of them presuming gravity nor them
you just
baffled.
posted that. We see it.
So you just send the actual report, and we will tell you where you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm posting the actual video, not the interpretation of the video.
Yeah, but you've just posted it already.
It's a space vibrator.
I gotta take you, I appreciate it. I know it's getting chaotic or whatever, but I appreciate your...
So, Kosho, if you go to 4 minutes, the lady
don't use my video, don't use Chemo's video.
She's explaining that there are clouds way up in the sky, water's up there, but it doesn't come from down here. It comes from up there. So how is there
space vibrator?
How is water up there, Kosho?
You guys love this space vibrator.
Right.
Timo, we did this space vibrator last night. You don't know where it is.
Kosho, lessons
intolerance. I'm trying to say something. I'm going to try to respond.
All right, Kosho, relax.
I'm going to try to respond to him real quick, all right?
All right, be patient.
Come on, Kosho, you bum chat.
You need to have a patient of a saint, Kosho, right? You are a saint.
I don't have patience. I'm not a saint, so I appreciate the advice, though, Chemo. At this point, I've forgotten what I was going to say to you, Chemo.
Yeah, because we're talking about...
How frustrating is it that you said something to me, and I have already forgotten what I was going to say to you?
Kosho, the water,
I'm busy talking
50 miles up in the sky, Kosho.
Yeah, right, thank you. Right. So I was learning about these guys, Sumerians. They're like, they're smart for people 5,000 years ago, but they're pretty stupid compared to us because they didn't know anything about the universe or anything like that. And so they had their cosmology and their idea of what the Earth was, and you'd be delighted to know that it was actually a flat, stationary Earth with a dome. They even said a dome, and they said the dome separates, or the world is surrounded by water, and there's waters above, and that's what creates the rain. And you see with that last sentence, you see how they constructed that idea. It's basically a guess, it's a guess like, you would make this guess, I'd make this guess if you didn't know anything about the world and you saw it rain and all this stuff like that. This is a guess they made, and it was to explain why not only is there water in the ocean, but it rains sometimes. And this wasn't really understood until, past couple hundred years, especially more recently even. You know, so.
That sounds like a story of. Sounds like you're conceding, Kosher. You're accepting.
Yeah, hold on, Kimo. Hold on, Kimo. The point was.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The water's above.
Water's above.
Yeah, that's the what you asked. How does the water get up there?
Yep.
Where does it come from? It doesn't come from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true.
Where does it come from?
It does come from Earth, and this is known and easily demonstratable.
Well, go on, man. Tell me how.
It evaporates from the Earth and goes to the sky, and it's in clouds, and it rains. It's not weird or anything. It's normal.
Yeah, so you have certain levels of clouds that go, up to Everest, but they don't go 50 miles high.
Some of them do.
No, they don't. Look at the video. There's a lecture on it, and she's explaining they're at the edge of space, and they come from above, from comets.
These clouds, me and Jem were looking at. I forget what they're called, but they're about 50 miles up, and you can only see them at rare times, and it's only after dark. You can't even see them during the day, which is weird because you can only see them from the bottom.
All right, I've got another point.
Well, I'm just saying it's a weird concept, but yeah, those clouds are 50 miles up.
Yeah. All right, fine. So in the same video,
I want to add something though.
All right, go ahead.
You say that where did the water come from originally? Like they come from apparently it's comets, ice comets. That's how we got water here.
No,
how do we make water on Earth?
That's an idea.
So you're saying the Earth produced water at high melted core?
That's an idea.
Deflection bomb. Deflection bomb, Brummy. You got nothing to offer. That's a deflection bomb. Get back to the bottom line of what you were saying, guys. This bombing shit getting monotonous.
Well, where did the water come from? All right, if you want to talk to me, then answer my question.
Brummy, those are both.
Water come from?
Those are both good ideas, but we don't have any. We don't have any conclusion to that. We can only make guesses, educated guesses based on the evidence.
So the comets that apparently the ice comets that hit the Earth.
Like you said, you made two. Yeah.
Or something else.
Or it formed with the rest of the stuff in the Earth, and
that's not what NASA said,
and it became buoyant. And
Kosho, NASA didn't say that. Why are you going against what NASA say?
NASA is not a archaeologist.
No, but they send things into the sky, and they say that these things come from above, not below. That water layer is from above, not down here.
Yeah, in what context are they saying the water comes from above?
From the comets.
Okay, so yeah, if water came from a comet, then it came from above. It came from outside the planet.
Where did that water come from?
Well, the Brummy gave two examples, and both those examples are true. There's evidence that water came from both those places. All the water on Earth, no one knows for sure, but you can get water from both those things very easily.
All right, let's move on anyway.
Whenever things formed, when things formed in the Earth, the buoyant and less dense things rose to the top, like the air and the water.
Look, those clouds are moving one direction at 50 miles high. And then you've got a set of clouds below it going in another direction. And then you've got another set below that going in another direction. So, if you go to my video, where I asked the question at around 9:45, have a look at that question there.
Did you forget it? Is that why you're telling us to watch your video instead of just saying it?
No, just so you can see what I'm talking about, get a visual. So, question is, if 99% of the atmosphere by volume is below 50 miles, Kosher, and the atmosphere is locked to the Earth's rotation, yeah?
Well, I don't know if I would ever say that, but
what, you wouldn't say what?
We continue.
Then
well, like the words you use.
Then why do all the layers going up to 50 miles move at different speeds and different directions?
And why wouldn't they, man?
Because they are locked to the Earth. The atmosphere should all go in one direction.
Yeah, if you have a cauldron on a skateboard and it's going like really slow, but you're going around a fucking I don't know, a football field.
Mhm.
I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you're going around this football field with a cauldron,
Yeah.
and at the same time you're boiling the water in the cauldron.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't say that the water is, you said locked. It's not locked in the cauldron, but it is going to move with the cauldron because it's not going anywhere else. At the same time,
like
though,
a container, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
a
witches make
thing.
the big.
What the witches have.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big giant pot.
So think about.
No, but yeah,
this
but
now.
in this cauldron,
Yeah.
the layers of water at different heights and at different places are going to
Yeah.
be moving in different directions.
That's what I'm asking you. Could you have the layers moving at different speeds, different directions?
Yes, I just described to you a very small scale version of how you can have that.
So if I'm running around with a pot of water, all the water will run in one direction.
No, not if you're moving much slower compared to the, what you're actually doing. Like I said, the skateboard's moving around this thing pretty slowly. It's not moving it enough to slosh it around or anything. But the boiling water is having a very real and immediate effect, and a very local. It's obviously most of its movement is caused by the skateboard, but if you're looking at it locally, you're going to see movements in different directions and different speeds from different quadrants of the cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But
Good,
I'm
Joe.
just
That's
saying that,
nice,
like, you've
man.
got different layers of gases in the same pot. How do they move at different speeds?
Different pressures and different temperatures, man. This is why you can boil water on your stove. This is why you see bubbles and all this stuff. This is why you have weather.
Yeah, I don't think you quite understand, Kosho. You see? So let's try this again. Not a pot.
Each layer of the water, each layer of the atmosphere is at different temperatures and at different pressures. Okay, so each layer is moving at different speeds and different directions. That's all it is. It's just different temperatures, different directions. It's
I get it.
And over time, they just start picking up a specific direction. That's part of what you call the Coriolis effect and stuff. They start building up a general direction.
Sure. So, Kosho, if I take off in a helicopter, why can't I just hover and have the Earth or the country come to me?
I don't know. That's a great question.
You know the answer to that. You know the answer to that.
You don't know, Kosh?
No,
I have
you
no
know
clue,
the
man.
answer to it. He knows the answer to it.
That's what I'm saying to you, Kosho. If we really think about,
Let him go, man.
if we really think about this, Kosho, what you're saying is we could run around a cauldron with a helicopter inside and have the helicopter keep still in one place, and by the time we've run around, the helicopter, the pot will come to the helicopter, and the helicopter doesn't have to go anywhere.
I feel like this is why I don't want to give into what you're doing right now, because you've heard this explanation probably more than probably a lot of other flat earthers, but it is one of the most basic misunderstandings that Nathan Oakley, promotes, and I'm sure you actually understand why it's wrong, but so that's why I don't really.
He's just
get
straw
into it.
manning to move on to another subject matter because he doesn't understand the previous subject matter. That's all.
So, Kosho, what is it? Is it the atmosphere moves with the Earth or independent of the Earth?
So you have the thing that's called, what's it called? Conservation of momentum. Okay. So if the Earth is moving and the air is moving coincidentally with the Earth, then nothing's going to change that. So that's going to keep happening. If a helicopter is moving...
I remember when I first went on an airplane as a kid, and asked why don't we go fast? Well, I assumed, obviously, I knew the Earth was a ball and it rotated at the age, and I thought that the plane should move faster. And I remember someone explaining to me why it doesn't, and it didn't. Even when I was about 12, I could tell that weren't right.
Something that they don't teach, at least in America, is about motion and speed and stuff. Like, they teach it, but one thing that I know is people, you can't describe speed or motion unless you're describing two things. You have to be describing the motion or the speed in reference to something else. Okay, so if you're in a plane on Earth, and what you're imagining is that it's going different speeds because Earth's rotating and stuff, but you're thinking about the plane in reference to some medium, not the Earth, because the Earth is rotating, but some medium outside the Earth that is stationary, and the plane is moving different speeds in reference to that. But that's not something that you experience. You experience it in reference to the Earth, and because you experience it in reference to the Earth, you're moving the same speed as the Earth in the direction 1,000 miles per hour, or whatever. And so when you fly either direction, you're flying. You're going with the Earth at that speed.
Yeah, I know. I mean, when they explained to me, I did. I understood what the explanation was. That basically, it's like we are contained. It's not like independent of the floor, but there is other things that aren't, like bullets, because bullets exceed 1,000 miles an hour. So now they're independent, and that's why they have that correlation. But you don't unless you travel up to that speed. So it's like so if we got in a jet, them high performance jet. And we've done some sun chasing, and we chased towards the sun in a high performance jet at 12. Like they go about 13,000 miles an hour. So we could, ideally, we could chase the sun back and go past the sun and let the sun set behind us and fly around a good distance, and that would be a good bit of proof. I haven't ever seen a video of that.
Rewind, because you have to readjust your understanding, because what you said
is accurate.
No. I'm saying what you said was fundamentally incorrect about bullets traveling a certain speed, and because they travel at a speed, now they're moving independent of the Earth.
Okay.
And this is maybe
please tell me.
It's the Coriolis thing that they describe on Earth is simply because there's different tangential velocities on Earth because it's rotating.